6 more LO League wrestlers in AAA will be making their first trip to states. That number was 5. Today, Monday, as we're filming, it changed. We'll get into that a little later. Dave, let's first take a quick, close look at Hempfield's Jordan Miller and Austin Miller. Austin is 41-3 at 103 pounds, and Jordan is 31-10 at 152. What are their chances this weekend?
I think there's a good chance that they'll win a couple of matches. I'm not sure about placing. Austin's at 103, and he's got a regional champion, Caleb Lote from Indian Valley, in his first match. And his next bout would either be with Derry Area's Jimmy Gulaban, who is the favorite at 103, or LaSalle's Casey Kent, who was the Southeast region bronze medalist. I think if he wrestles Kent, he's got a good chance to get out into the medal round and maybe get a top 5, top 6 place, which wouldn't be too bad for Austin as a sophomore. To be a good starting point. Jordan is one of the few guys at 152 that doesn't have state experience. 52 is a loaded weight, but including Marshall Peppelman from Central Dauphin, who's the returning champ at 140, and Cumberland Valley's Bryce Butler, the returning Bryce Bustler, who's the returning champ, the returning runner-up at 140. And there's 9 people all together at 152 who have state tournament experience. Fortunately for Jordan, the guy he opens up with, Parkland's Wade Rivera, is a tournament rookie like he is. So I think with 10 losses, people are going to take Jordan a little for granted, and I think he can get in there and make some hay.
Solanco's Dan Neff will be at 125 pounds. He is currently 30-2 on the year, and there is a little family history there as well with the Neffs.
Yeah, his dad placed in the 83 tournament, I think, or the 84 tournament, maybe the 83 tournament. And talk about family history, the guy that Dan's first match is with Matt Rappo, who's a sophomore Southeast champion from Council Rock South. And Matt is the 4th in the line of the famous Rappo brothers, who have 4 state titles between them. Rick Rappo won once, Mike won twice, including, unfortunately, a state title at the expense of Cocalico's Steve Fittery. And then Mark Rappo won last year at 112. So the Rappo's got some experience, but you're not wrestling the name, you're wrestling the wrestler. Then in his next match, Neffy would either see Joe Rizzolino of Easton or Jake Swink of Connellsville, who's a pair of place winners that are in his half of the bracket. West Mifflin's Sam Sherlock, who was 4th last year at 25, has to be one of the favorites at the weight, along with Jordan Rich of Central Mountain, who was 4th at 112 last year.
Penn Manor's Andrew Eshelman will be wrestling at 140 pounds. Eshelman is 36-7 right now on the season. How do you see Andrew doing?
Andrew opens up with Eric Koch of Indian Valley and Ty Boyer of Easton, or Ty Boyer of Indian Valley. I'm sorry, Eric Koch is from Quakertown, my mistake. Who would be his opening round opponent, and then he would face either Ty Boyer of Easton or Mike Hartenstein. Ty Boyer is from Indian Valley. Mike Hartenstein is from Easton in his next match. Returning place winners at that weight include Hempfield area, District 7, not our Hempfield, Jack Bachman, who was 7th at 135 last year, and Carlisle's Jay Sean Wilson, the South Central Regional Champion, who placed 6th at 35 as a freshman.
The surprise of the District 3 tournament, as far as LL was concerned, had to be Kyle Ueberroth. He'll be at 215 pounds. Luckily for him, he'll be bracketed opposite of Antonio Giorgio, or maybe not lucky for him. He is 37-5 going in. How will Kyle do?
Kyle has a first-timer with Jeremiah Karpensky of Albert Gallatin. So that's kind of an anything goes. And if you win there, he gets Owen J. Roberts, Scott Cyrek in his next match. Now, Kyle does have a little bit of a history. He lost to Cyrek in the finals of the Dallastown tournament in December, but it was an 8-3 match, and I think Kyle's come a long way since then. As you say, he's in the opposite bracket of Giorgio, so if he gets a couple of wins under his belt, it could be just like the regional tournament 2 weeks ago. You get a couple of wins, and the next thing you know, you're in the finals.
And lastly, this just happened today, Monday, as we're filming. Donegal's Neil Swaggart is now in at 171 pounds in AAA Mike Evans from Cumberland Valley had to withdraw for disciplinary reasons. How do you see Neal doing? Neal is bracketed. His first match will be with Nick Milano from Erie Prep, so it's kind of a blessing in disguise for Neal, I would think, being added to the list at 171 pounds. But besides that, what do you see Neal doing?
Yeah, it's kind of a funny journey for Neal. He spent the last week being a workout partner for Shane Rosenberry and for Lancaster Catholic's Mike Blazek, just kind of helping them. And all of a sudden, boom, you're in the state tournament. Welcome, Neal. And unfortunately, welcome, Neal, you get Milano in your first match. Neal's playing with the house's money. He wasn't even supposed to be there. So anything he does is going to be a bonus. And, again, you get a couple of wins under your belt, and the next thing you know, you're on a roll.
All right, let's look at Double-A. Two wrestlers from the LL League are in at Double-A. Highlighting that would be Lancaster Catholic's Mike Blazek. Mike is 38-2 at 171 pounds. He finished, I believe, third at regionals last weekend.
I think Mike Blazek could really do well. His first match is against David Kephart, who was kind of a surprise entrance, a surprise place winner. He was the fourth seed in the district tournament and ended up getting to the finals, and then got to the finals of the Southwest region tournament, also kind of by surprise. So I think Blazek's got a good shot at him. And then his next match would either be Cody Catalina, who was from Beth Center, who was supposed to be the favorite in the Southwest tournament until it went a little topsy-turvy, or unbeaten Caleb Kolb of Grove City, who's got to be the favorite at the weight. He placed third at 160 last year, and I think he's going to be a tough customer.
And the final person in Double-A from the LL League is Anvil Cleona's Dylan Killian. A bit of surprise, maybe. Did you expect Killian to get here, and how well do you think he'll do?
In Double-A, the District 3 kids really did well, and so I'm not surprised that Dylan is in the state tournament. He's kind of had been up and down, but he was probably the fourth best kid at the weight. The three kids in front of him were clearly better than Dylan was. He gets Frank Martellotti of Shadyside Academy in his first match, and that might be a little rough go for the sophomore from Anvil. And he's also bracketed in there with Cody Kelly of Reynolds and Nick Hodgkins of Wyomissing, and they're probably two of the best kids at the weight. So Dylan may be making an early exit, but it's always good experience, especially as a sophomore.
And we should mention, as of Monday, you might be viewing this later, one more LL League wrestler might get into the tournament. Dave, tell us who that is, and tell us how he might be able to get into the tournament.
Hempfield's Matt Rhule, who had a great run in the district tournament and placed fourth at 285, may get the call to wrestle in the state tournament. The story is that Susquehanna Township's Avery Robinson, who was the runner-up at 285 in the South Central Regional Tournament, has been sidelined by academic ineligibility. Now, this hasn't been confirmed, so this is more at the rumor stage than anything else. And we're just kind of throwing it out there for your information. And if Robinson is indeed sidelined, then Nick Page from Kennardale would move up to the 2 slot out of the South Central, and Matt would get the invitation to be in the number 3 from the South Central, which would get him a first-round match with Evan Craig of Abington Heights. Evan Craig has got to be one of the second-tier favorites, if you will, at heavyweight. You have the defending champion in there, and a couple other guys that are probably head and shoulders above. But, hey, again, like Neal Swigert, you're just playing with the house's money. You're in the state tournament, and you didn't even expect to be there. So if that happens for Matt, good for him, and we wish him the best.